Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of our Community Access. This week, we visited with the Seven Ponds Nature Center anniversary. Then, we visited with the new owners from the new Concho Pearl restaurant. All today on our Community Access. Welcome back. Seven Ponds Nature Center had an anniversary. With the story is our reporter, Janet Warner. Janet?
Seven Ponds Nature Center is a nonprofit organization, 501c3 nonprofit, and it exists for three reasons. One is to provide a preserve for native plants and animals. The second is to act as a living classroom for environmental education. And the third purpose is to provide a peaceful retreat for our visitors. We have about 486 acres that we manage and take care of. And we've been in existence for 50 years. This is our 50th anniversary celebration. So today is simply just an open house celebration about the 50 years that have happened and looking ahead to the next 50 years. So we wanted to make this a friendly, low-key kind of experience. We have some of our clubs on hand. We have a series of trail walks taking place led by our naturalists to the different parts of the Nature Center. We have some snacks and beverages on hand, and it's just really a chance to celebrate with so many people that have been so much a part of the Nature Center for so long. We're seeing people visiting today that haven't been here for years, but they came out because they knew this was a special occasion to visit. So I think when people come here, the thing that they should really look out for, we always send them to the A-frame bridge, which is a unique bridge that takes you from one part of the Nature Center to another part over a canal that connects a couple of the lakes. But also the tall grass prairie, I think, is very unique. There aren't very many tall grass prairies remaining in the United States, in particular in Michigan, and this is a 9-acre tall grass prairie. So grasses that grow as tall as we are, and this time of year, late summer, the prairie wildflowers are in full bloom, and it's just a spectacular place to be. So that's something I always recommend people go to. In the early 1960s, some people were living in this area and realized what a beautiful, special place this was. And the Rip and Patty Shem bought 100 acres here where we're standing right now, and wanted to have that place protected, preserved, and shared forever. And so they donated that to Michigan Audubon Society. They had the initial building constructed, and they set in motion a series of events that have led to where we are right now. So those two people, along with their good friends Don and B. Nash, made this all happen, along with, of course, countless hundreds of volunteers and staff along the way. But the vision and the commitment, the belief that this is something worthwhile to pursue, and then the tenacity to make it happen is something that I'm awestruck by. so I'm very humbled to be a part of that now. I've only been here for 6 months, but I've come to appreciate very quickly how many people have contributed so much to this place. And
well, I first came here probably around November of 2006, maybe November 2007. Wasn't able to react too much because it was November going into December. But a couple years later, once I got a little more involved, I was able to see it in the spring going into the summer. I was awestruck by it. I mean, this is really a beautiful, one-of-a-kind nature center. I like the interpretive center that you saw inside. I like the arch bridge that you see behind me. The many different types of trails. I think what I like the most are all the different types of landscapes. One time I saw an osprey. The bird life is just amazing. I've probably seen, I'd say over the past 4 years or so, about 4 or 5 flickers. Pileated woodpeckers. Yeah, I've seen about 5 or 6 pileated woodpeckers in this direction. I highly recommend Seven Ponds in the fall. There is a beautiful panorama on the dock just behind me, and we have many different types of trees, including maples, aspens, and I highly recommend it in the fall. In fact, fall is probably one of the more beautiful times to come, actually, and just take a walk. And I was very impressed with the historic displays that I saw inside, commemorating Seven Ponds. But no, basically I just came out because I haven't been here in a while, actually, but it's a good day to come out. So.
The Butterfly Garden was established a long time ago in a different part of the Nature Center, then moved over here, and the person who oversees this garden is a volunteer. In fact, all the people that work in the Butterfly Garden are volunteers that come out here on their own and just spend hours out here managing the flowers and planting and weeding and so forth, and they really enjoy it, and we're glad to have them out here. Most of these are native flowers, and they are flowers that attract a wide variety of butterflies that we see fluttering around behind me, and so it's a very special place, and a lot of love and commitment has gone into the Butterfly Garden.
She is a monarch butterfly. See her patterns? I know she's a monarch because she has this specific pattern. It was a big monarch butterfly, and it went on my hand, and it was so cool. And then I put it on a flower, and I gave it a little treat. And I know monarch because it's my favorite butterfly.
I have 2 other kids that are 20 and 21, and so I used to take them out here to Seven Ponds years and years ago, and now we live in Chesterfield, so we're not that close. And this is Story's first time here, so we had a good time. We seen a bunny, right?
Yeah.
We seen 3 turtles. One was a bigger one, and then a smaller, and then really little baby one, right?
Yeah.
And what else did we see? Lots of butterflies in here, and
We saw lots of dragonflies.
lots of dragonflies. Yeah.
I was here when I was a little kid, so probably when I was 5 or 6 years old. So we used to come quite a bit with my parents, and haven't been back since, so it's been 30 years.
One thing I hear regularly, maybe almost daily, is something like, I brought my kids here and now they're bringing their kids here, or I brought my kids here and now I'm bringing my grandkids here, or I came here as a child and now I'm bringing my kids here. It's a generational thing. Right now we're working on, I think, our 3rd generation of visitors to Seven Ponds, which is really exciting, and I'm sure there's probably some 4th generation visitors as well. So how fantastic is that?
I grew up in Elmont, so being here was part of childhood. So it was just, we've always been nature people, I guess you could call it. Always involved in different things like that. And so wanting to encourage my daughter to, hey, let's continue, let's keep going and looking at everything that's around us and what can we learn from it and where can we make things better and just enjoy it.
We moved up to Dryden when I was about 11. We started coming here, and not regularly, but it was nice every time we came here. It was, kind of a family thing. We would get together.
It seemed so much bigger when I was in second grade, but we had guided tours, so I think they took us on more than what I actually venture out on by myself, because I remember a lot more than there is now. My favorite part's the A-frame bridge. I just think it's very pretty up there. It's a great place to just take a look out and see everything that this place has to offer.
I really like it here. It's like, I like to see all the animals, and the discovery room's pretty cool.
I like seeing that snake.
Yeah, even though I pretty much screamed when I seen it.
Sure, our environmental education programs are very widely varied. We have kids who come out from schools with their school groups, with their classes and so forth. We have weekend and weekday programs for families and children. We have classes in the summertime called Summer Field School. We have knee-high naturalist programs for very small children. So our educational programs are all across the board. Hundreds of thousands of school children have gone through our programming here. Countless visitors have spent days on these trails, miles and miles of peaceful retreat walking. And so everybody benefits from having this kind of place in their backyard. Well, biodiversity is one of the reasons why we try to maintain the native landscape, the native plants, the native animals, because that is a very delicate balance that those animals and plants are living under, and those invasive species can really throw that out of balance. We've seen what happened with the emerald ash borer here, and there's basically no living ash tree still on this property. Within the last 15 years or so, every ash tree has died. We have other invasive species that are trying to take over various places in the nature center, and so it's a constant battle that has to be waged by our naturalists and volunteers that come out to try to overcome those invasive species. Some of our worst invasive plants are garlic mustard, purple loosestrife, the crown vetch, and a number of others. Glossy buckthorn is another one that's causing problems. So some of these plants are really a problem for us, and our naturalists are constantly working on different techniques to eradicate or at least control and keep them from spreading. As people move around, we get more and more invasive plants and invasive animals, and those plants and animals tend to throw the entire balance of nature out of balance. So it's important for us to try to maintain an environment, an ecosystem here that preserves the integrity of the way things have developed over time, and that would be with the native plants and animals. So we try to pull and control as much of the non-native invasive species as we can. Well, it's a multifaceted approach. Sometimes it's using herbicides, and we try to be very selective when we use herbicides. Sometimes it's pulling. It might be cutting at certain times of the year to prevent the plant from reproducing. So there's a multifaceted approach to controlling and defeating these invasives. This is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So what that means is we do not receive a single dollar of federal, state, or local government funding. All of our funding, everything we do here at Seven Ponds, everything we've ever done here at Seven Ponds is done because of donations, large and small, membership fees, program fees, grants from local community foundations and civic groups, and earnings off our endowment fund. So we don't receive any federal or any type of public funding at all. It's all through private donations and supporters, people who care about the Nature Center deeply and believe in what we do and are willing to support that financially. And everywhere I go, there's a common word that's used to talk about Seven Ponds, and that's love. I can't tell you how many people have told me, I just love that place. And I understand why, because I love this place as well.
Thanks, Janet. Next up, in just a few weeks, we'll have another great restaurant in Oxford. This one is called Concho Pearl. With this story is reporter Terry Stiles. Terry?
So hi Bill, I'm someplace that a lot of people in this community want to be. I'm at the Concho Pearl. I'm inside, as you can tell that sign behind me, and I'm with Danica Dunlap. Now your name suggests that you're from Oxford, but you're not, right?
I am not. I am a Texan that moved up to Michigan probably about a year and a half ago, and it's very convenient that my last name's Dunlap. Seems like a popular name up here.
You just fit right in the
That's
community
right.
already
That's
before
right.
you even get started.
For
So
sure.
you are opening this restaurant with your mom, Joanne, your dad, Michael. Is it Joanne? Leanne. Leanne.
Yeah.
Your dad, Michael, and your brother, Kelby.
And my grandmother, Mary.
Mary.
And my husband, Nolan.
So
it's a big family
as-
ordeal.
All speaks your grandmother as well?
So my mother, it's a maternal grandmother, and her name is Mary Laughlin. And then it's the Spake household, and then I got married, and so I'm part of the Spake household as well.
So get to know those names because you're going to see a lot of these people. So tell me about this adventure, the Concho Pearl. First, I'm going to ask you about the name. Where does that name come from?
So the Concho Pearl is really important to the family. We have extended family in San Angelo. Our cousins are down there, and the Concho River runs through San Angelo, and there's Concho Pearls in the Concho River. And the Concho Pearl was my cousin's grandmother's favorite piece of jewelry from her grandmother. And so it was really important to her family, and it's a piece of Texas that we get to bring up to Michigan.
So we are talking about Texas. You're originally from Texas. And tell me about the Texas barbecue. I know it's different than what we're used to up here. We do like our sauces. And I like Texas barbecue. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Texas barbecue, it's more than just the meat. It's the way it's cooked. It's the wood that you use. It's the type of sauce or the lack of sauce. And it's also just a full attitude about kind of how life is. It's low and slow. You just take it as it comes, and it's a dry rub. So we smoke it really slow. Our brisket smoked about 16 hours, pork 14 hours, and then it shouldn't need sauce. You're hiding the meat if you put too much sauce on there.
I so agree. It's all about the meat. We're talking briskets and ribs and avocados? I saw something about that. Tell me about that.
Absolute favorite menu item. It is a brisket stuffed avocado. So we take an avocado, we slice it in half, put our melt in your mouth brisket and some cheese, and bread it and deep fry it and put it on a salad because you need some greens with all that good fat.
Oh, absolutely. So tell me about getting up here. Why Michigan? How did you get here? And then we'll talk more about your food later. And I want to talk to your grandma about food too.
My grandma and her good food. You know what? We came up here to Michigan probably 8 years ago. My dad works in Troy and has worked here for quite a while. He's working his way up the 24 corridor and now lives north of Lapeer. And so working in Troy and living in Lapeer, he's driving down 24 all the time. And he fell in love with Oxford and said, I need to bring my family's restaurant up here, and we have found that Oxford is super supportive and such a wonderful community to be part of. And we, or my parents rather, they've moved many, many times, and they're ready to settle down and start supporting a local community, and they felt that opening a business and being able to be there for the community is so important.
Well, they've done good research because this is a community that will give you tons of support. And how about restaurant background? You keep mentioning family business, family background. Who has the experience in the restaurant business?
So, in my immediate family, my brother has the most restaurant experience, but our cousin is the one that is coming up. He's also part owner. I forgot about him. And he has 30 to almost 40 years of restaurant experience. And they have 3 restaurants in Texas with award-winning recipes and barbecue and other things, and a fantastic catering company. And so he's bringing all of that expertise to us in the family.
So you're going to have the best of both worlds. So you have Michigan as your home, Oxford as your home-based business, and all your good food gets to come up this way too.
That's right. We are very ready to share all of the good recipes, but also the Texas hospitality, the friendliness. We want everybody to be part of our family. It's really important anybody that walks in, regardless of age, to feel comfortable and to be part of the family. We're going to be very family-oriented. Both my mother and I have an education background, and so kids are important to us, and the whole family should feel comfortable.
So you're going to have a little section here catering to kids, right? Not just catering food-wise, but keeping them entertained when we're trying to eat.
Our Texas location has a full playground on the on the back patio. And since Michigan weather doesn't allow us to have an outdoor patio all year long, we decided to have an activity center here inside of the restaurant. So in the corner, we're going to have some games and activities for kids, probably between kindergarten and 7, 8 years old, maybe a little younger than that, with some fun games.
And then let's talk about the restaurant a bit. This is certainly not what it's going to end up like. So what have you put into it so far, and what do you have to do next?
Sure. So I'm sure many of y'all have been to the old Big Boy. It looks very different now. The color choices and paint, of course, are different. The flooring, we had pink tile in here before. Now we have some nice brick that was hidden underneath. We're going to bring a lot of wood accents, and we're going to look very industrial, not very Western, but kind of a modern industrial look. We're bringing a bar. You're going to get to see about a 15-seat bar, so we're going to be a full-service bar as well. So that's very different than the whole Big Boy look.
And then that should happen within the next, we're not going to put a huge time limit on it because you always run into things that you don't expect, but at least by holidays?
We are expecting to be open by the holidays. We're expecting a huge grand opening very soon.
We'll keep you informed about that. Now let's go talk to your mom. Hi, Bill. We're meeting the rest of the ladies in the family. This is Graham Mary. She's already my grandma. And Leanne is Danica's mom. And I'm excited about the food that you're going to bring here. You must have some family recipes. And you came up here with the family, right?
Well, I moved up here shortly after they did. I thought, well, it's time for me to just follow them around. So anyway, I came on up here, and everybody in Texas thought I was crazy for leaving Texas. And then I got up here in the winter, and they said, you moved up here in the winter, are you crazy? So I guess I'm crazy, But anyway, I'm here, but we do have some wonderful family recipes. One of the main ones that I'm very proud of is my mother's pecan pie, so that goes a good ways back. So, and we're working on some others. As a matter of fact, we're working on some recipes for the Thanksgiving holidays with our dressing, because we do cornbread dressing, and working on some cranberry apple salad, and got lots going on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited already. I think I'm coming here for Thanksgiving. And you mentioned that everybody in the family is a cook. What is it that you're going to bring to us and introduce to us that maybe we're not that used to, we should be excited about?
A little funny story. The first time I moved to Michigan, I was invited to a barbecue. I was so excited because I was ready for barbecue, and I got over there and had hamburgers and hot dogs. And I said, no, that's grilling out. That's not barbecue. So we're bringing Texas barbecue with our way of making it low and slow, dry rub, melts in your mouth, no sauce needed.
Well, the great thing about you owning and creating your own restaurant is you get to introduce us to a new way, really, of eating.
Yes, and we bring a little bit of, I'm going to say, Mexican flair to it. So it's not just barbecue or just smoked meat. We have it all across the board, and we add our own flair by really using like green chilies and jalapenos, which doesn't really make it hot. It just makes it flavorful. Yeah.
Well, we are so excited, and I think I speak for the whole community. We're excited that you're here. Welcome to our community, and we can't wait for you to open.
Well, us too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I bet. I'm going to let you both go because I know that you have a lot to do. So you take care. Back to you, Bill.
Are you ready for some barbecue? Check on the coming Concho, Pearl, and Oxford. Well, that's all the time for this week. We hope you enjoyed our program. So, for our reporters Janet Warner and Terry Stiles, and for our editor Ashley Point, I'm Bill Service, and you have a great, great week.
Just think, what if we didn't have local TV and radio? Where would I go for local sports, local politics, a mayor, city council, stuff that affects me every day? How about health? Who's covering things that endanger my family? I need to know now, as it happens, from sources I trust, people in my community. No agenda, no bias like you find on cable and social media, just facts. For news I can trust, I stay local. Support your local station. Text TV to 52886 today.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Abigail Adams here, just checking up on our springtime goat work on the Polly Ann Trail. What's that? Trash on our beautiful trail? Oh, that makes me so happy. We've got so many trash cans all over the trail. It's a beautiful day on the trail, but oh no, this could end badly. Wow, that sure was nice. Folks know not to hog the road. Even goats share. Hey, that gets my goat. Where are you going? Even I have to be out here on a leash. You sure are a nice dog, but stay away from those weeds. I'm gonna eat them later. What a beautiful gift, our Polly Ann Trail. I've got to hit the trail. I hope you will too.